Alright, so you lied to your hot date that you've seen all the Iron Man movies and he's asking you what your favorite scene is, and you're now in the bathroom trying to learn the entire movie in the time span of a long piss before he gets suspicious. First of all, your favorite scene is when Black Widow fights the security guards. That's the correct answer every time. Trust me. But let's get into the rest of the movie. Characters you need to know: Tony Stark, billionaire, playboy, Iron Man; Ivan Vanko, Whiplash, the bad guy; Justin Hammer, the other bad guy; Colonel James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, aka War Machine. Why the new face, you ask?
It's Hollywood, baby.
Pepper Potts, lover, assistant, and soon-to-be Stark Industries CEO; Natalie Rushman, aka Natasha Romanoff, later known as Black Widow; Happy Hogan, the security guard; and Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D, Marvel's FBI for superheroes. So in Russia, before Ivan Vanko's dad dies, he tells him that Tony's dad stole the arc reactor plans from him. So Ivan is pissed, hates Tony, and makes his own arc reactor equipped with some insane looking lightning whips. Back in the US, Tony's embracing the perks of people knowing he's Iron Man. Hi Stan. And after a Stark Expo where people showcase their genius ideas, he gets summoned to court. A Senator Stearns wants him to give up his suits to the government because other countries are making their own. But Tony shows that those countries aren't even coming close. Justin Hammer, owner of Hammer Industries, also tried to make his own, but failed. Basically, Tony's keeping the suits. But then we find out that Tony's dying because the arc reactor that's keeping him alive is also poisoning him. So he makes Pepper the new CEO of Stark Industries, and Pepper hires the beautiful Natalie Rushman. The squad then flies to the Grand Prix in Monaco, where Tony races because he wants to live it up before he dies. But Ivan Vanko, now Whiplash, shows up and attacks him on the track. Happy and Pepper show up with a suitcase suit. Tony kicks ass, but then finds out that both their fathers work together. However, the Vankos were Russian spies. Tony then throws what he thinks will be his last birthday party, but gets drunk in the suit. Rhodey straps on one of the other suits to get a hold of Tony, but they get into a fight and destroy the mansion. Party's over, people. Rhodey flies off with the suit, goes back to the Air Force base, where the Air Force and Hammer deck it out with more weapons, turning it into the War Machine. Hungover the next morning, Tony meets Nick Fury and the now revealed Natasha Romanoff, and they give him a collection of his father's work. In it, he finds a recording of his dad saying that the Expo is the key, and he figures out that the model for the Expo is actually a model for a brand new atom. Tony proceeds to make that atom in his basement, makes a new element, a new arc reactor, one that won't poison him. He lives. But while all this is happening, Hammer breaks Vanko out of prison, and they make a pact to work together to bring Tony down. Vanko works on the defective Hammer drones that Hammer wants to showcase at the Stark Expo. FYI, no one really knows that Hammer is a bad guy yet and that he hates Tony, and that's why he was brought in to upgrade the War Machine and why Tony allowed him to present at the Expo. But anyway, Hammer isn't pleased with the results of Vanko's work and puts him on house arrest. Vanko then calls Tony, tells him what's going on between him and Hammer and what's about to go down at the Expo. While Hammer is presenting, Vanko takes control of the drones and the War Machine suit, and war breaks out. The drones attack the people, and War Machine attacks Iron Man. Romanoff gets it out of Hammer where Vanko is working and goes to infiltrate the base in an awesome scene while Tony destroys the drones, and they eventually get back control of the War Machine. War Machine and Iron Man fight together to destroy the rest of the drones, and Hammer gets arrested. But it's not over. Vanko shows up in his brand new suit, and all seems lost in the fight.
No, wait! We'll use the power of friendship.
Tony saves Pepper from an explosion. She tries to quit, but he shuts her up with a kiss. And Romanoff recommends that Tony becomes a consultant for S.H.I.E.L.D, but not an Avenger. Yet, because he's too crazy. Tony and Rhodey get medals, grudgingly given to them by none other than Senator Stearns. And that's the movie. In post-credit scene, S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Phil Coulson finds a hammer in the middle of the desert. Look familiar? Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.